Yeah, so I'm gonna go over this fucking shit real quick just because it's on my fucking mind. This Wayne fucking thing, right? Because Wayne, right? Supposedly he doesn't fucking remember me or whatever, but or he does, but he doesn't remember fucking meeting me. Blah blah blah. Anyway, you see another post about that. I got a 30-minute conversation with this guy that should have been like 5 minutes. Anyway, the whole thing about fucking Wayne, right, is he actually back in the day gave me a T-shirt that really affected my life in a really big fucking way, because I wore it to this concert. Um, so basically, hold on a second there. So anyway, I wore it to this fucking concert, right? Cypress Hill is the first concert I saw at Cypress Hill. It was in Kansas City. It was in Bonner Springs. Um, this is the dealer with that T-shirt, right? So he's like, "Yo," I met Wayne through a mutual friend. If you want to know who fucking Wayne is, this guy named Ralph, right? Ralph lived in the same building as me. Ralph was a little bit older than me, so Ralph basically met Wayne, then was like, "Yo," introduced me to Wayne. I only met him like 2 or 3 times, whatever. But one of those times is he gave me this T-shirt. Like he had a store, right? He did airbrush and shit like that, but he also sold like 555 Soul. I think he had some of their shit, whatever. So I also bought certain things from him. But this one T-shirt, like I didn't have I think I just didn't have the money. I didn't have any fucking money. And so I wanted this T-shirt. And he ended up giving it to me. He ended up giving me that T-shirt and this poster or whatever. That's why it bugs me out a little bit, that the way he acts or whatever, because I don't know. Apparently, like, I don't remember him doing any of that shit for Ralph, which made sense to me at the time, just because like Ralph was still around and he knew I had already moved to Kansas. At least in the discussion that we had. Anyway, the whole fucking point being is though, so I go see Cypress Hill, right? And I'm not really big into pictures or any of this shit, right? So I go see Cypress Hill. I wear this T-shirt that Wayne had given to me. In Kansas City, nobody's got that style, whatever, you know what I mean? So everybody's kind of bugging out on my fucking T-shirt because it's a T-shirt of this guy rolling up a joint or rolling up a blunt. And so a photographer, supposedly, I can't remember if it was Time magazine, but it was like like a fairly well-known magazine at the time, ended up taking a picture of me in that T-shirt, right? And supposedly it even came out in the news article or whatever. So like it was like published and shit like that. The thing is, like I said, I'm one of these people who I'm not really big into pictures and shit like that. And especially like back then, you know what I mean? Like just, having a picture of me with at a Cypress Hill concert with like rolling up a blunt or whatever. At that time, I was, it wasn't big or anything like that, but I was selling weed. So it was like, I wouldn't want that out there. It's hard to understand, I think, for people, nowadays or whatever, because it's whole different, whatever. But the way I was raised and everything, like, that just seemed mad stupid, right? You know what I mean? So like, I myself, I never kept a copy of the news article, although I remember being told about it and I saw it back in the day or whatever. Anyway, the whole fucking point being is like, this is what I'm saying. Like, so there's mad other shit going on, but that's my connection to this nigga Wayne. Yo, like that used to be the biggest kind of like secret connection or whatever. Because I was like, how the fuck you even talk to people about this shit? Because in Kansas City at the time, nobody knew who fucking Wayne was. Nobody cared, right? So what happened to me basically was I get this T-shirt from this guy Wayne, who was my like little local celebrity hero in the Bronx, where I lived in the Bronx, right? So I'm living in the Bronx. Wayne's my little like local celebrity hero. My friend who's a little older than me ends up meeting him. Then I end up meeting Wayne through him. Then like I said, I only met him like 2 or 3 times. We only hung out like 2 or 3 times, basically at the store. I think one time was like straight just shopping, and we didn't really interact, like we didn't even really talk or whatever. But one of the like the first time I went with Ralph, first me and Ralph went together. That's when he introduced me. Then like I said, I think one time just shopping. And then that one time, well, the one time that was just shopping, I believe that's the time that we ran into I always forget these names or whatever, but I think King 157 or whatever. Because I lived over in White Plains Road on 219th Street. I think it was over like on 216th or 215th. I don't know. It was getting towards Gun Hill Road. Anyway, this nigga was getting up King 157. He was an older writer. Like even he was an older writer than me at the time. Like I was, like I said, I was early teens or whatever. And then the time that he gave me the fucking T-shirt, like I said, I think because I didn't have any money, because he gave me a T-shirt and then he gave me this fucking poster that I've been fucking fiending for, in the sense of like, I don't know if my mom still has it or whatever, because I used to have it in my room, and then I had it here in San Francisco for a minute, but then I was like, yo, I ended up sending it back to, I thought I sent it back to my mother or whatever, because I was like, yo, you keep it, because I didn't want it to get damaged or whatever. But he gave me this poster that's like, it says graffiti is illegal, whatever. Anyway, the fucking T-shirt thing is to this day, yo, like, it's just always been this fucking crazy fucking thing, yo, like, because I would, that T-shirt was like a really big deal in my life, in a certain sense. Like every time I wore it, people always like, yo, where'd you get that shit? Where'd you get that T-shirt at? And I'd have to be like, I can't remember. I don't even remember. I do not remember if his store had a name, but I'd have to, you know what I mean? I'd be like, yo, fuck, I got this from fucking New York. It's like, you know what I mean? Like at that time I hadn't seen it anywhere else either being sold or whatever. So, yeah, shit just bugs me out, because it's like, yo, the way life progressed, the friend that introduced me to Wayne ended up passing away. Wayne did a mural for him. I then reached out to Wayne and was like, yo, I didn't realize you stayed friends with the same person that I was friends with, and you just did this mural for him. Can you help me get a hold of his family? Because I lost contact with his family. Anyway, that turned into this really weird fucking thing. So I reached out to Wayne and was like, yo, you just did this mural for, our mutual friends. But I lost contact with his family. Can you help me get a hold of his family? Wayne's like, nah, I can't. But then he told me to this other person, and told him, TC5.